Hello bibliophiles, my name is Tanvi Dikshit and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Korean sensation Welcome to the Hyunam-Dong Bookshop. If someone comes to me and asks me, Tanvi, what is the coziest book you have ever read? A book that feels like a warm hug, a book that makes you go all fuzzy inside, then this is it, guys. This is my recommendation. This is the book you buy. Now let me tell you a little bit about how I picked this book up. This book is actually a very unusual read for me, because if you see, the kind of titles that I gravitate towards usually are like these intellectually stimulating, non-fiction, informative reads, or even if I'm reading fiction, it'll be like powerful protagonists where the protagonist is going through these life-changing circumstances where a lot is happening, or I'll read philosophy or just things that are very hard-hitting or things that will make you really think a lot. This book is the exact opposite of all of that, and that's why it's so special. This very close friend of mine runs a book club, and this was actually their book of the month read. She insisted that I borrow this book from her and that I read it, and I'm so glad she did, because this has been one of the most wonderful reads of my life. Now, let me give you a few specifics about the book. The book is 297 pages long, but it's a super simple read. The language is very easy, completely beginner friendly. The author of the book is Hwang Bo-reum, who actually is a Korean writer. She wrote this novel originally in Korean, which was then translated to English by Shanna Tan. Now let me tell you a little bit about the author. Hwang Bo-reum studied computer science and worked as a software engineer. She's actually written quite a few essay collections, out of which some popular titles are I Read Every Day, I Tried Kickboxing for the First Time, and This Distance is Perfect. Welcome to the Hyunam-Dong Bookshop is her first novel, and Shanna Tan is a Singaporean translator who translates works from Korean, Chinese and Japanese into English. Now, if I had to describe this book in one word, I would say it is heartwarming. Let me tell you the basic plot. Now, this story follows a middle-aged woman called Yeongju, who opens a bookshop in the neighborhood of Hyunam-Dong in Seoul, South Korea. As you become a regular visitor to this bookshop, you see these characters that visit the bookshop every day. These characters keep coming and going, and as the book progresses, you get to know the backstories, the life stories, not just of Yeongju, but also of all these other characters which are regular at the bookstore. First of all, there is Yeongju, of course, who's our protagonist. She is a little troubled but also extremely motivated, loves to read. Actually, everybody in this book loves to read. All characters are either readers or writers, and that's what I love the most about it. Yeah, coming back to Yeongju, she's had a slightly troubled past, but she's extremely motivated. She goes out of her way to do everything that she can for the bookstore in order to ensure that it keeps running. There are actually a lot of layers to Yeongju's character, which you don't initially understand, but as the book progresses, these layers are slowly peeled off, and then you start to understand her and why she is the way she is a little bit better. Next up is Minjun, the barista who's extremely committed to brewing that perfect cup of coffee. Then there's Jungsu, who comes to the bookshop every day and sits there knitting for hours together. Then you have Jimmy, a woman who runs a coffee roastery but is also going through a pretty hard time in her personal life. And last but definitely not the least, Sung Woo, a literary critic and blogger who stumbles into Yeongju's life, and then things happen, or maybe not. Apart from these main characters, there are other characters that go in and out, that weave in and out of the fabric of the story. The entire premise of the book is the interaction between these different characters that visit the bookshop, how their conversations cause these micro shifts in the way they look at life, their perspectives, and how these micro shifts change their life eventually for the better. Now, what makes this book so unique is that there is literally nothing over the top in this book. No extreme struggle for survival, no unimaginable trauma, no victory over the evil. Nothing like that, you know. There is nothing that will shock you or shatter your illusions. But that's exactly what makes this book so beautiful. You know how this book actually makes you feel on a day when you're feeling low or not so great, you know. You retreat to this cozy corner in your house, you sit with a blanket, you have your favorite book, you have your favorite cup of coffee, and you're just by yourself, you're feeling warm and comforted and all of that. That's exactly the feeling that this book gives you. On a day when you're feeling extremely anxious, jittery, overwhelmed by everything that's happening around you or in your life, you can simply find an escape in the pages of this book and find at least a few seconds of comfort that you're looking for. In its own subtle, understated sort of way, the book actually deals with a lot of important problematic themes like the stigma of divorce, the hustle culture or the stress, the pressure that we feel to constantly achieve greatness or success, especially in the Asian countries. The way a society deems you should or should not live your life, like what is considered to be correct or incorrect way just to live your life. All of these themes are dealt with in a very subtle way, in a way that you will still be able to take away a little something with you from this book and maybe apply it to better your life. After reading this book, you'll realize that it's just okay. It's okay to fail at something that the society considers important to achieve. It's okay to walk out of an unhappy relationship or an unhappy marriage. It's okay to give up on a high paying career or a job that was making you unhappy to actually settle for something that's very basic but that's giving you joy, that's maybe not paying you as much but it's giving you satisfaction and happiness. And I think in today's world where hustle culture is given so much importance, a book that celebrates the simplicity of life, a book that tells you, you know what, it's okay to calm down, to be wholesome, to not stress, to not run, to not chase after things, and just be happy in the small little things in life. There are these beautiful things that they've described in the book, just the way Minjun brews his coffee. There are these sensory experiences, you know, the whole process of brewing coffee and how he's immersed in it. How feeling a breeze brush against your face can give you a moment of joy. There are so many little things in life which can give you joy. And to be very honest, it is the little things that give you joy. You think, oh, you know what, when I earn $1 million, I will be happy. But that's not really the case. You're not going to be happy because of achievement. In the end, you're just going to be happy because of these small little moments that you can actually capture every day. Coming to my verdict on the book, this book gets a big, big, big thumbs up from me. I was actually genuinely surprised at how much I enjoyed this book. Every time I would keep it down, I would wait for, you know, to come back home and like starting to read this book again. So I really, really enjoyed the process of reading it and how it made me feel. I highly recommend this book for anybody who's going through anxiety, depression, stress, anything that's happening in your life that's making you feel really overwhelmed with life in general. Please pick this book up. It, even though it might not heal you completely, this book will at least give you those few hours of comfort. This book will literally be like a best friend coming and giving you a warm hug, I promise. While the book is very, very easy to read and free flowing, my only complaint about the book is that because it's a translation from Korean to English, there are a few places, a few conversations where, as an English reader, I missed out on the humor. Now, I understand that it's not always possible to translate an exact phrase or a saying from one language to another, but because of that, in a few conversations, you kind of miss out on the humorous element or the impact of that particular conversation because it's a translation from Korean to English. But that's my only complaint. I understand humor is the toughest to translate from one language to another, so no grudges against the translator. I give this book a 7 on 10, but honestly speaking, I feel if I would have read this book in Korean, my rating would have been even higher. I just love it because of how simple it is. If you are somebody who's enjoyed reading books like A Man Called Uwe or Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine, like that sort of genre, then you'll definitely enjoy this book as well. I also think this book is a great gift to give your mother or anybody you think deserves a tight hug. So that's it for me in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you do give this beautiful, beautiful book a read. Leave a comment, let me know if you enjoyed it. Also, let me know which other books you would like me to review. I will, of course, be back with another book review. The next one is going to be The Mountain Is You by Brianna Wiest. So do come back for that. Hit the subscribe button, please, and hit the bell icon so you're notified whenever the next video is out. This is me, Tanvi Dikshit, signing off for now. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, happy reading.